This is the coin graph market. Excuse me, sir, I need to check my number to make sure everything is okay. In the morning, I saw something moving around. It turns out that I think this is rude to this station. Stein grabbed some shares and found that these 21 are, I think, the name of a company whose XRP exchange-traded product gives investors access to an asset that is held in cold storage and not sold on the public markets. Now for the interesting part. We've been showing you for years what didn't make sense about all these people who kept Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and people in the media and the crypto media were pushing the same thing. These are not stupid people. I've told you 1,000 times that these people aren't dumb. Their act is to make it look like they don't understand XRP, and I knew right away that they weren't telling the truth. Okay, we can check it out, but when I saw this going around, I went to the real website to make sure it was real. It's 20. Okay, let's say one share is 20 XRP. Each person gets a share of Ripple's Repute IP worth $18. Then I read Cowboy Crypto's tweet, which said that Pomp is not only involved in Anthony Pomp Leon is the guy who just can't seem to grasp XRP, but he does, right? He thinks it's a great idea to sell Bitcoin pits, but he doesn't understand why someone would think XRP might be a good investment. Doesn't he get it? He seems to have a stake in this, then. It's Kathy. Hey Kathy Wood, who is the Bitcoin dress that you keep seeing on the CBC? That person is unknown to me. Please let me go. Please let me go. Pull back. Anthony Pomp Leon has something to gain from it. People like Kathy Wood and Morgan Creek have put money into it. Mark Jasko, who used to be Mark Jasko, and Morgan Creek are the other two men. Mark Jasko says, I'll look into XRPA a little more. I don't get it, but they put money into these 21 shares that have an XRPET on them. You may remember that this was going around this morning from Res XRP. You may remember the famous Brad Garland movie Houseman, in which he makes that funny face. Anthony Pomp Leon is also acting like he doesn't get it. I don't get it. But he means I don't understand what you think or why you can't. You can see that the Kishri. What makes a country that starts with the letter C think it should have some say over Bitcoin? The sort of the Chinese Communist Party. Let's not act like the Chinese Communist Party wants to keep an eye on or control these groups of miners in China. I don't think that's possible. To be clear, I'm not saying we should just accept it and then decide if it really matters. Is it important? Don't act like it's not there. Let's agree on that, but there's a difference between being the minority and being able to affect miners who are a small part of the network. They need to be. There is no one with more than 50 power over anything. Miners from China now control more than half of a country, which is a 200% rise. No, I'm truly sorry. For workers have come together. That number is more than 50. Of course, they have more than half of the mining hash power, but they don't run Bitcoin, do they? The Chinese Communist Party can't do much because miners are in charge. Miners are in charge of most of the hash power. It's possible to hit other blockchains 51 times if you have most of the hash power. You have to believe that the Chinese Communist Party could go inside those 4 mines and tell them they need to do Oxy and Z and Duxy and Z. I'm going to ask you if that's the job you want. What are you doing? I don't understand what you mean when you say that the Chinese Communist Party can 51 attack the Bitcoin network. What they certainly do. No question, I don't agree. Okay, good. You stopped Bob. He is putting a pin in it because he knows he will have to push this in a corner. Our names are we and you. I know you and I think you know me. The two of us are not going to change our minds. Now let me ask you 2 things. Okay. Do you believe the Communist Party of China? What I mean is lying to yourself intellectually, but I'll show you more lying to himself intellectually from him. Over and over, he acts like he doesn't understand, but he really does not. This is when the case was put together. Good morning to everyone except those who think they can sell stocks that aren't registered and get away with it. That was him, but he was the one. Don't forget that I told you on this station that some In 2017, near the end of the year, everyone knows CABC was teaching their people how to offer XRP for sale. Anthony Pompliano said on August 31, 2017, "If you think Bitcoin went crazy when King BC and institutional investors found out about it, wait until they find out about Ripple XRP." He was so hyped up about it, but sometime in 2017, the mainstream media hit the crypto media machine. That means he, all of his friends, and everyone else just doesn't get it. Because they know how valuable it is, CNBC and CNBC stopped talking about it, doing it, and showing their viewers how to buy it all of a sudden. They know that lawsuits are dropping all of a sudden and that the SEC will drop the case in a year or two. Since late 2017, the only people who have talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum are known to be intentional. These are bad for business. When I say bad Andres, I'm not naming names. These are the guys who were making plans. We just sat and watched it. In terms of the coin center, Mr. Huber says that these are people who are working on a plan for the center. Hey there, Change Center. I wanted to watch your video from when the Ripple XRP lawsuit was first filed in December 2020 again because it made me excited about the case. It looks like you took it down from your YouTube account. The movie has already been watched a lot of times, but you can usually re-upload it, and I'd like all of you to see it. It was a plan, people. Based on data from the Ripple network, XRP WHALES bought about 11 million XRP in the last week for more than $6.82 million. That sounds cool. Anna Manuel is on the Ripple board. Why should the United States choose one answer over another? I mean, Ripple would be the national winner in the US if we had them, which we don't. To be honest, we might be on the right side of this as we gain ground. You work here and add to this every day, so I don't have to explain everything to you. But we are built to be able to stop the transactivities you mentioned. So that's how I see Fulham Way. People are giving digital assets instead of cash, which helps fight corruption and help poor countries. We want to protect privacy while pushing financial inclusion, and the thing that's stopping us in the US isn't bad intentions. But if you look at the web of people who run tech companies, banks, people like us, and other things, it's not very clear. A lot of different officials are involved in this, and none of them are working together well. Most of them don't know anything about these new technologies or the world situation Sandy and I just talked about. Yep. It is, however, much more planned than she said. And then there's one more for Christine Lagarde. BRICS are being asked about her. This was said at a meeting at MIT. They were just at an MIT meeting. I believe they were just at MIT. I go to the University of Leiden, and today, the head of the BU and I talked about the BRICS and how they changed the world. Now tell me how you see them. Do you see them as competitors, a threat, or someone who can help you? Then what would happen? Even though I know it's not possible, what if they could set up a single currency and a central bank like the one we have here at UC? Is it going to be dangerous for Europe? BRICS stands for South Africa, Russia, India, China, and Brazil. For independence. You need something much bigger than that, something that brings nations together. With each other. That being said, there are arguments and shared interests.